I'm a software engineer at Gamelab in New York City, and I've been working on a prototype for a game that is supposed to start full production in January. Because it's a small company, it's not as focused in any specific area than it otherwise would be. So I work on most of the gameplay. I've been working on a lot of AI, interface, GUI, programming. But for the most part, I pretty much touch everything in the code, since I'm one of the few programmers on the project right now. It's a lot different in a sense that you don't necessarily, well, in a casual game, you kind of experience all parts of the code, as opposed to only maybe focusing on one area in a code base and not necessarily knowing what's going on in all the other areas. Like with Master Plan, it was a lot different in that you didn't necessarily know everything about what everybody else was working on. You had an idea, but you didn't know what the code, what their code looked like, different things like that. So it's very, so it's a lot different in that respect. How similar it was actually. The concept of data-driven programming was very similar to what we did here, as far as importance of being able to build a system that the designers can then tweak. The thing that surprised me, I think, was the similarity between working in the industry and from FIEA. Well, definitely the ability to be able to communicate and work in teams is very important. Even if it's a small team size, you still have to be able to communicate with the designers, the other programmers, the artists, and so that's probably the most important thing. And also being able to kind of teach yourself how to go in and learn what you need to learn to get a task done. In my situation, a lot of the code was undocumented, so it was a matter of going in and learning how to do things based on examples. Has it been done before? And so, in that respect, I think those two things were probably the most important skills from FIEA that I learned. Very different and very cold this time of year. So it's a nice city. Obviously, there's a lot of happening in that city, but I like it overall. Well, right now I'm kind of between phases of working on a game that is looking like it's going to be approved by the publisher to go into full production. So, and that's supposed to happen here in January. But I've been working on some kind of flushing out some ideas for DS concepts that they've been having. They have a lot of different concepts that they've been looking at for the Nintendo DS, and there's a few of them that I've implemented mini games for, so that they can test the gameplay mechanic and different things like that. So I've been doing that recently, but that's just kind of temporary until we go into full production. I'm most excited about working on the game that we did the prototype for. I think that has a lot of potential, and I think it's something a lot different than what they've done in the past. It's definitely a bigger project than what they've done in the past, and I'm really excited about the potential that has. So. No, not really. I mean, I was hoping so, obviously, but it's always nice to be able to work where you want to work and have options. So I think that FIEA was a perfect stepping stone to accomplish that goal. Well, my only advice is, for those who have been accepted or those who haven't been accepted, is to be able to learn how to kind of manage yourself in terms of learning how things work, and don't rely on being stepped through, because in the industry you're not going to get walked through everything that you do. So it's important to be able to learn things quickly and not having to rely on other people.